Welcome to You Get What You Get Theater. Hi, welcome back to my channel. If you've never been here before, I'm Fat Sajak. And I'm at this angle now. I'm working on a revamp of my space by turning it around entirely and making it more functional for me, not for you. But there's going to be art and stuff that goes up on this wall. I've got it all planned. I'm just waiting for some of it to arrive and for the gumption to put it all up there. So I hope you enjoy our new angle. The lighting will also get better. Anyway, I am currently working on a few videos at one time. Yes, the Colleen Ballinger rant is coming. Yes, we're going to talk about James Charles and Kayla Malik and that piece of shit after they go to court this week. I look forward to that. Colleen video I'm literally working on right now. I'm editing. There's 2 of them, so I know some of y'all have had ants in your pants about that. And then there's also one more drama video and then a bunch of Teen Mom episodes. So like, I'm working like crazy, okay? I'm doing my very best, which is not very good. Lately, Amber Portwood of Teen Mom fame, of Teen Mom infamy, has continued to go on TikTok Live to talk to strangers, pretend nothing's wrong, do a really annoying giggle, and then eventually crash out entirely. They've been getting more and more volatile again, and I think it's because of the current season that is airing, and I want to talk about it today, and we're going to watch a little bit of her live from yesterday, which was May 5th. Oh, I need a massage. Have any of you guys ever bought that damn neck massager from TikTok? Does it work? Is it good? I've been limiting my caffeine consumption, so I decided to drink an entire Alani today. I'm going to try to make an effort to make more like a well-rounded schedule, because I know I released a bunch of Teen Mom episodes which some of you love, but some of you have zero interest in. So I'm going to try to make the balance a little more balancey. So I'm working on it, okay? I'm like a constant work in process. Or a constant work in progress, if you know how the saying goes. If you're not subscribed already, make sure you're subscribed. We're getting dangerously close to 40K, and like, listen, I'm not a numbers guy, but please make sure you're subscribed if you're not subscribed already. And like the video and all the things. There's also, you can find me on social media, and my merch, and my Patreon. We've just started Teen Mom Book Club in the Patreon, and channel memberships. You're both included in that. Or you can go through Patreon and just purchase the collection of book club things. I don't really understand how it works. I made it available in case it was convenient, and some people have used it. Please let me know if that's been beneficial to you. I don't know. I'm just a kid and life is a nightmare. Anyway, let's get to it. Yesterday, Amber was on live. I must have caught the beginning because I started screen recording and she was just doing her weird like giggles when she would get gifted things that like were interactive.
Bobby, you guys are beautiful. You guys are beautiful for that. Yeah, ladies, you know, men, whatever. Oh. Am I cuckoo? Is that what that is? Because I like the friendship necklaces too. Interacting. Gum. Where's my gum? Yeah, send all the interactive things you guys want. Oh. Yeah.
And it was really weird. It was really uncomfortable for me, personally. I don't like to see joy. If you don't know who Amber Portwood is, first of all, I don't know why you bothered to click on this video. But in the quickest of recaps, Amber Portwood is on the original iteration of 16 and Pregnant, and then the original iteration of Teen Mom. She had her daughter Leah with her ex Gary when she was like 17. She eventually went to jail for hitting her child's father in front of her, because in Indiana that is a felony. It was also on camera, and it also happened multiple times on camera, which leads us to believe that it probably also happened multiple times off camera. Amber eventually developed an addiction to prescription pills, which led her to getting arrested again and choosing to go to prison over going to an inpatient rehab. When she came out, she jumped right into new dick with a new guy who had like 180 kids and was about as greasy as the bottom of a bag of Ruffles. When they broke up, she jumped into a new dick with a guy named Andrew who was like 100 feet tall, and then they immediately had a baby, James, and then she eventually was having an altercation with Andrew while he was holding their son, and she came at him with a machete. Then she lost custody of James, and he now lives in California and she lives in Indiana, and she allegedly has a great relationship with him. There have been a lot of relationships, there's been a lot of turmoil, a lot of tumultuousness. Where we're at now, basically, is that her relationship with her daughter Leah, who is now 16, has been quite strained. Gary and his wife Christina, who is a fucking saint. Hearts in the chat for Christina, okay? Because Christina is a saint. We love Christina. Anyway, Christina has been in Leah's life since she was probably about 4-ish, if I remember correctly. And she has basically been Leah's mom. Leah is a teenager and she is realizing her resentments for her mother because Amber releases new ways to resent her literally every year. Apparently she goes months and months and months and months and months without contacting Leah. And then, you know, shows up late to her birthday and then calls her a dick at her birthday and all of that good stuff. And Leah, in the episodes that are just now airing, is basically about to send her mother, Amber, a text that says, listen, all these years when I didn't want to, you know, when you were asked to not be around, it was me that said that. I don't want you around me. This is me putting down a boundary, kind of a thing. And ever since TikTok was a thing, Amber has gotten on TikTok Live and literally tried to force out tears about Leah and basically gaslight her by proxy and blame her for everything by proxy. And it's really horrible to see. But one of Leah's finer points about Amber was that she didn't like what Amber does online. Amber tried to start a whole show with some guy. Oh God, what did they call it? It was like winning back Leah's heart or something like that. And they were going to do a daily show to like win Leah back. Now, personally, if it was my mother who was on live talking about me as if she had known me or seen me often throughout my childhood or cared enough to actually spend more time participating in my life than participating on a live, I would be embarrassed. I would be infuriated. I'd be sending her a cease and desist. That kind of brings us up to speed. There are so many other details in between. I have done a deep dive on Amber. I don't even know if it was deep divey enough. It's been a really long time since I touched on it, but I have done other videos about Amber. They're all up in the Team On playlist. I'll link it below. And, you know, for all the other details, that's where you can find those, okay? Let's get to what she's doing currently. Getting rid of this extra light because it's blinding me and I don't think it does me many favors. You can see me. You can see me clear enough. I decided for you.
After changing years ago, and literally as a 35-year-old woman, look what I did for my son. Fought 4 years.
4 whole years? You fought 4 whole years? Without the machete? Damn, I might have been wrong about her right out of the gate.
For my son. 4 years. And now, no matter what, we still have an amazing relationship.
Okay. Here's the thing, though. If you're in a situation where your child is, you believe your child is being manipulated or convinced that you're the problem and they shouldn't be around you or they shouldn't want you around, it doesn't matter how many years you fight, you keep fighting because that's what parents do. It's what they do. You can respect her privacy and her boundary that she wants to be left alone by you specifically and still be fighting for her. Also, maybe you should fight for like a job. I think that'd be a good idea.
So why would it be any different for Leah? You think I wouldn't do the same? Use your brains, guys.
We are, hun. Everything's coming up deadbeat.
Come on. Look, I know I have my beautiful people on here, but for the rest of you guys, you come on. Think for yourself.
I like that Amber always goes to this place when she's on live because she's always like, you guys use your brain. Like, it's common sense. Like, it's not, though. Because we've seen enough of Amber's shitty actions on camera. And if those were bad, what happens off camera can't possibly be better, right? Because I would say if you're only getting bad edits from MTV, if this is MTV's fault, MTV would see legal action pretty quickly. Just use me using my brain.
Look at what's really going on in front of you. That's all it's for. This is not right. Just because we have mental illnesses, just because we were guinea pigs and we weren't right in our minds, just because we were addicts, hard ass addicts at that, it doesn't mean you have to be that for the rest of your life.
Yeah, I don't think anyone's arguing with you on that. What I do think, though, is since Amber hasn't grown in a personal development kind of way outside of their time working out of becoming an active addict, while that is an accomplishment for sure, sobriety is an accomplishment. As much as she wants people to like, let that go, stop saying I'm high, stop saying I'm this, stop saying I'm that, you also have to find something else in your life and grow. So unless you're going to take that knowledge you have or that past that you have and all of that, all your experiences go into gel and like become an addiction counselor or something, like there's got to be more like to you than whatever's going on here. Also, so much of what she says is just fucking word salad. Like, she's just talking. It's a wonderful dichotomy because she wants to talk about how
I did X, Y, and Z, and I have mental illnesses.
And then it becomes,
I'm 35, like, I have mental illnesses, like, move on.
like, you have to pick a lane. Either you're going to use it as a crutch, which is a choice, or you're going to factor in your mental illnesses into your life and still become a productive member of society. It's got to be one or the other, love.
And now I have a daughter who is judgmental and not forgiving.
You don't get to decide if people forgive you or not, especially if you've never really been sorry, at least not sorry enough to change your behavior. She's just continuing to do the same shit. This live is her continuing to do the same shit that hurts her daughter. So how can she forgive you if your actions don't say that you're sorry? I'll wait.
I never beat this child. I've never screamed at this child. I've never done anything like that. I'm being treated as a person who is so horrendous. What a horrible mom. Oh my God. When?
Oh, I got that one. All the time. You don't have to beat a child to be an abusive parent. You don't have to scream at a child to have a profound negative emotional effect on a child. I sound like Dr. Drew. You don't have to hit your kid to traumatize your kid. You don't have to scream at your kid to traumatize your kid. Nobody gets out of childhood completely unscathed, okay? You will find it in your 30s. Things you didn't even think twice about, and you're like, fuck, that shaped a lot of who I am in a terrible way. Like, it's part of the human experience, okay? Trauma is part of the human experience. You don't get to decide that your behavior didn't affect someone negatively if they say that it did. Every parent loses their shit at some point, right? Every parent has an off day. No, you have not traumatized your kid for life for screaming at them one time. But if that child is repeatedly around screaming, even if they're not being screamed at, Use your brain, Amber. It has effects on your brain, on your nervous system, and it's etched into your body memory forever. Maybe with all this free time on your couch, you could open up a fucking psychology book. Weren't you in school for that?
All the times that I've already spoken to her by ourselves. Oh, shut up. Screaming in front of a kid doesn't cause trauma. Go somewhere else.
Girl. Screaming in front of a child repeatedly, consistently, for a long time, for years, yeah, it absolutely can cause trauma. So can ruining her birthday to make it about yourself and your boyfriend. So can calling her a dick. So can screaming about how she's not giving you a fair shout on live. So can pretty much everything you're doing right now.
My God, thank God I'm a millennial, for Christ's sakes. I'm telling you right now. I just love being a millennial. That's not a little feather over here just like, oh my God, he screamed at me. Stop it.
Stop it.
Stop it.
Hi, I'm Fat Sajak. I am 39. I am a millennial. Yeah, child psychology is not a generational thing. We may have a better and more readily available understanding of child psychology as lay people, thanks to the internet, you know, and the availability of these resources. But that's not a generational thing. Stating that something that has been known to create trauma is people being too soft because they're also not millennials is a wild statement. It's a wild statement. And something I also want to point out is that, like, it's a statement, it's always mom specific when I hear it, but I assume it likely can go toward any parent, right? Bad parents don't spend time worrying about whether or not they're bad parents. This bitch does not worry a day in her life about whether or not she is a good parent. She keeps coming on here and saying,
I didn't traumatize my kid.
not even internalizing that it might be a possibility.
I didn't do this. I have fought for everything. I'm a damn good mom.
You can't even internalize that for a second to figure out if that may or may not be the case. Proving that you're right and proving that just proving that you're right. When that overrides your child's feelings, you need to take a look at yourself and your parenting, in my opinion.
Okay, I've been screamed at many a times. Okay? Yeah, Gary did scream all the time.
I don't remember seeing Gary scream really ever. I do remember you hitting him, punching him in the face, and trying to kick him down the stairs, but I don't remember Gary screaming. Also, you were screamed at all the time. It's weird that you remember that, considering how not traumatic that is.
Jeez, that guy, he cheated on me 3 times on the show. And everybody, oh, I don't know why she hit him. I don't know why she did this. I don't know why she did that.
Oh, yeah, totally. Yeah, because that's justification for hitting him before all that happened.
Probably because physical abuse and also being screamed at, always being cheated on.
So wait, first of all, physical abuse. You're out and out accusing Gary of physically abusing you. 2, you have just alleged that you hit Gary because he was physically abusive, screamed at you, and cheated on you. Now, one of these things was something that you said can't be traumatic. Screaming at someone is not traumatic, Amber. That's not traumatic. You're a millennial. Never forget that.
When your own words don't make sense in the next sentence.
No, I was an addict. I had BPD. It is not an excuse. It's hard, but not an excuse. Hey, sweetie, I'm not just an addict, and I don't just have BPD.
Okay. Cool. Still not an excuse. Your mental illnesses are not a crutch. They're not a crutch. Unless you are experiencing something that is wholly debilitating and fully inhabits your ability to be decent, to love and care about others. You are a grown woman on TikTok Live in the middle of the afternoon, making excuses for why your daughter doesn't want to be around you, including her father, allegations that her father was physically abusive to you. You know Leah's going to end up seeing this, right? Like, you understand. Amber understands, right? That she's using her common sense, that Leah is going to see this. Leah's friends have already put her on to old Teen Mom episodes. They've already talked about her mom being on live. Imagine being 16 and your mom is on live talking about you, making allegations against your dad who has raised you. I'm not saying Gary is perfect. I hated Gary in the beginning of 16 and Pregnant and Teen Mom. I hated Gary. He was antagonistic. He was a pain in the ass. He was lazy as shit. But you know what? He turned his shit around and he took care of his daughter. And he changed his whole fucking life. I'm not, again, still not saying he's a perfect parent. I'm still not saying he's a perfect guy. I'm still not saying he's infallible. And Christina is a saint. And I will say it until the day I die. Which will be pretty soon if I don't make it through this.
So we're not the same. And also, if you do have that, you should know none of us deal or have the same effects. So you're not a doctor. Please be quiet.
No. No one has to be quiet because they're saying something you don't want to hear. You can't lean on your mental illnesses as a, like, get out of jail free card. By the way, you're not the same. She's not like other girls. She's quirky and different.
I don't want to hear you rambling. It's ridiculous.
Ditto, bitch.
We don't need your ignorant advice that makes absolutely no sense.
No, actually it makes perfect sense. Because what she said was, I also have BPD. You can't use it as a crutch. Makes perfect sense to me, but what do I know? I'm just using my brain.
It is different for everyone. Exactly. I don't know what you're talking about. Honey, you don't have anything I have. Seriously, you really don't.
They probably don't have what you have. They probably have things like, I don't know, custody of their kids.
There's only 23% of people that have what I have, so I'm pretty sure you're not one of them. Anyways.
Wait, didn't you just say that she wasn't a doctor, so she should shut up? How do you know that she isn't one of the 23% of super cool people that have what you have? I'll wait.
As I was saying, I just happen to be on TV. So it's so easy to sit there and say, victim, victim, victim. Oh, she's doing this again. She's doing that.
Yeah, it is super easy to say when you're on live every day doing this same thing. Yeah, you just happen to be on TV, okay? This just happened to play out on TV. Fine. But, like, you are on live every day doing this shit. Doing exactly what Leah... Now, remember, these episodes of Teen Mom are staggered, right? Like, this happened had to have happened a little while ago for this episode to be, I believe this is this week's episode, for Leah to say, I don't like what you're doing online. These are the reasons why I don't want you to contact me, etc. That means that Amber received this text and is still doing this.
Oh, blah, blah, blah. I was a young girl who had a child. That's enough right there. I'm sorry, but I mean, shit. I've heard so many stories since I've started doing this about people who didn't have any mental illnesses, nothing like that, but simply just had a child at a young age and just couldn't do it.
Sure. No one is discounting the fact that it's hard to be a teen parent. No one is discounting the fact that it was hard to be an addict.
All these ignorant, perfect... I don't even understand. You guys, they turned on me too. For money.
At this point, I believe she's talking about Macy and Caitlin, also from Teen Mom. The viewers have been quite, let's call it critical, of Macy and Caitlin for being fucking enablers of Amber and her behavior for a really long time. And now I feel like, now that we're at a point where Leah can articulate how Amber's actions have made her feel, now all of a sudden Macy and Caitlin are like seeing what everyone else has been seeing for like well over a decade.
I guess money is what they turned on me for. Money. They're gonna follow the leader. I'm not a follower.
Wow, you're so brave. You couldn't follow somebody to a parenting class, or...
I guess that's the difference, right? I adore you too, babes. Thank you, Dixie. Thank you, honey. I'm not a follower. Have you guys not noticed that? For all you haters, I'm not a fucking follower.
That's right. She leads her own path of destruction. She doesn't have to follow in anybody else's path.
Okay, I don't follow money. I don't do that. Sorry. I was actually dedicated to this show. Very dedicated. Really wanted to help people. That's all I wanted. And I did.
Oh, okay. Well, that's pretty selfless of you. I expect your teen mom paychecks were non-existent then, because you just wanted to help people.
And I'm still going to. But I never thought that I would be attacked for the times I was mentally unstable and an addict.
Well, the thing is, Amber, since you're choosing to conflate what's actually happening with what you're pretending is happening, people aren't mad at you for being an addict. No one's mad at you for having mental illnesses. People don't forget things like hitting your partner, you know? Because I just want to say that, like, if the roles were reversed on this one, and I know we don't like to do gender roles reversed or whatever, but just hear me out on this, because I think it's relevant in this particular case. If the roles were reversed and Gary smacked Amber across the face, punched Amber in the head, and tried to push Amber down the stairs, Amber would never shut the fuck up about it. Am I wrong? Because I'm pretty sure I'm not wrong. Now, that doesn't really matter because Gary doesn't lament about the times when Amber beat the shit out of him. Gary's concern is Leah, right? And Amber's concern has seemingly never been Leah. And that's what people have a huge problem with. Domestic violence aside, okay, let's put that to the side for just a second, okay? I'm not saying it never happened, not saying like we need to erase it. Just put it to the side for a second. If Amber went to jail and came back a completely different person, which everybody was hoping that she did, I myself totally was on Team Amber, like, fuck yes, turn your life around. I was here for it. Totally here for it. What a wonderful success story that would be. It wouldn't erase the things in her past. No, nothing ever does. But it would have shown growth, personal growth, right? But she didn't do that. She prioritized Dick over her daughter, with Matt, with Andrew, with new Gary. There was another like mail order husband in there somewhere. She has always seemed to prioritize men over her daughter. That is what we have seen. That is what people have an issue with, especially again, now that Leah is openly advocating for herself about the things that Amber has done that have hurt her. The less you're willing to hear your child when they say, this thing you do hurt my feelings. This affected me deeply. This holds trauma in my heart, in my head, in my body. The less willing you are to hear that, the more you're going to be stuck on your couch alone on this fucking live, lovely Lotus Bomb 11.
You know, there's so many moms out there going through this and thinking like, that's fucked up.
What? Could you be more specific? What are moms going through that's fucked up?
Because I know how it is. They know how it is.
How what is? What the fuck are you talking about?
Aw. Oh, that's so sweet. It was my cameo. Gave me 5 stars. I just did a cameo for somebody. They had insomnia and it was really cool. I love doing that for people.
She says as if it's a charity event. Girl, how much are your cameos? Oh, they're currently 58% off. They're $20. That's a Mother's Day deal that you can't pass on. Oh, son of a biscuit. Anything but getting a real job, am I right?
Might be a dumb question, but do you have any kind of relationship? No, I don't at all. How dare I? I would never have a relationship with them.
That was a question asking if, I don't know if you can read the comments. I actually had to like put my old eyes a little closer. But that was asking if she has a relationship with Gary or Christina. And of course not. Why would I ever have a relationship with them? Because they're your child's parents, you silly goose.
Girl, haters gonna hate and bet either one's talking shit, either don't have kids or under. Exactly.
Exactly. Like, whatever can satisfy my confirmation bias. Like, exactly. Actually, I think the people who have kids have the most to say negatively about you.
You do know how it is? Yeah. That's who I'm talking to right now. The ones who know exactly how it is. I will not be bullied by 11th Street or MTV anymore. I don't care what anybody thinks. I would not have my daughter be pushed for this new generation bullshit. And I'm going to do anything that I can.
So I think what Amber is alluding to here is that they're trying to put together like a new like spin-off with the kids of the original like Teen Moms, which, you know, was inevitable.
Her father was yelling at the producer. Of course MTV's not showing you that. You want to know why? They're trying to take my daughter right now and push her to the forefront so they can have a new show with the kids. And Leah is at the forefront. So let me give you a little inside information.
Okay.
Because she is. All she's doing right now is speaking her truth. Because she did go through that, guys. But forgiveness should have happened such a long time ago when I was clean and being in her life years ago.
Again, you don't get to decide when people forgive you, especially your children. Why do you think so many, like, millennials specifically are no contact with some of their parents? Sometimes I'm sorry is not sufficient. It takes work. And more than 4 years, like it was with your son. Like, it's like real work and shit. You know? Like, trust takes time. Rebuilding it, especially. She don't know you. I think that's some of the one of the things that like all these deadbeat ass parents always forget is like, you know, they're so confused why their kids are not like so excited that they're back in their life. They don't fucking know you. They don't know you. They may be able to identify you, but they don't know you.
Thank you. The issue is we've got a really big company pushing the agenda. What steps am I taking? Honey, I took never a single tear. This is honey.
Yeah. I mean, girl.
What are you talking about? What the fuck are you talking about?
Oh, they're talking about the fact that when you cry, you're not crying. You're just squeezing your little eyes together and sniffling. That's it. I hope that helps.
You ignorant woman. What is wrong with you? What is wrong with you, honey? What is wrong with you?
Now, just to be sure, you're still holding your phone and not a mirror, right? Self-reflection would go a long way. I'm just putting that out there.
What the fuck is wrong with people today with common sense? Common sense went out the window. I don't know how long ago.
Okay. It requires common sense to look at a person who's very clearly crying for sympathy on TikTok and calling out the fact that you're not actually crying. Where's the common sense missing? Hello?
I don't know what to do anymore.
I mean, you could try getting a job.
I know what to do, but it's not what I want to do.
Are you 12? Oh, yeah, come on, girl. If they're not going to come out, pull them out by hand. You can do it. I believe in you.
I don't want her to go through what I went through. I don't want her to be pushed to the forefront. I don't want it, guys.
Please. Shut up. Leah has been raised in a lovely home with 2 loving parents who have shown her how to treat other people well, how to not accept being treated unwell. Knowing what I know, which is as much as any viewer knows, about Gary and Christina, I would think that they would be very careful signing a contract for Leah to be on MTV. Solely for her own sort of situation, right? Amber chose to continue to be on Teen Mom. No, none of these girls knew what 16 and Pregnant was going to do for them. No, probably didn't even know by the first season of Teen Mom what this show was going to do for them. Every season after that, Amber chose to be there. Amber was a legal adult who signed her own contracts and chose to present day to be on MTV. What I think is actually happening, say that I don't know that they're going to push the kids to the forefront. There have been a lot more of them recently. It's definitely possible. But I think the thing is they want Amber gone, which allegedly she is, and they want to keep Gary and Christina's storyline with Leah. And I think Amber's fucked up over that. That is what I think.
I just want her to understand and not be judgmental and just let me.
I'm sorry. Girl, calling your daughter that you don't speak to, don't see, don't show up for, and haven't for a long time, consistently, over and over again. Calling her judgmental because she hasn't just forgiven you for being like vaguely apologetic. And I do mean vaguely apologetic. Wild behavior.
The only way I could do this is by ending everything. This is... I love you too.
Oh my God. Who died?
Even if I left, I gave so much of myself. It was the things that happened were not, they just weren't good, guys. I can't say it on here, but what I can say is there's not one person out there, not one person who, the consequences of my own actions, I've already did that.
Just like she doesn't even finish her thought. Amber is always going on about how the show has like fucked her up, and it's you know, it's worse than you know, and this, that, and the other. And I'm sure to some degree that's true. But you kept choosing to be there, and you kept getting paid handsomely for it. At any point, you could have gotten a regular job. And the consequences of your own actions. So, because someone put in the comments, oh, what is this? The consequence of my own actions? And her response being, I already did all that. There's no time frame on consequences. Some things that you do have a ripple effect that can last a lifetime. One guy One guy had explosives in his shoes. And for the past 25 years, when we go to security at the airport, we have to take off our fucking shoes. Consequences last longer than it takes for you to forget the things that you've done to hurt other people.
I've already did that. God be with me. You remember that from earlier, guys?
There's nothing like a quirky gift to break the tension.
I know, honey, but what I want to say is...
Oh my god. I live for the emotional cringe of watching people have like an emotional or impassioned moment on TikTok Live and then having like gifs, like the fucking mustache and hat and shit. Oh god, it just brings me to life. Evanescence.
I love my daughter enough to leave hundreds of thousands of dollars.
Wow, you really do know sacrifice. We're all rooting for you now. Is that what you wanted to hear, Amber? Was that what it was? Okay, just checking. I'm sorry if you have a thing about sniffling. I do, so I'm enduring it for you. I love you enough to sit here and endure it for you. I'd like my praise now, thank you. I think it's interesting that Amber says that she loves her daughter enough to walk away from hundreds of thousands of dollars. And yet, she doesn't love her daughter enough to hear what she actually wants from her and then do that.
And for them to keep coming after me, and for the girls to speak on my life when they've never been through anything I've been through.
Oh, you mean trauma? You don't have trauma. You're a millennial.
All the fake mental health shit they've been talking about on the show with other people.
Right, don't ever forget. Only Amber Portwood has mental health issues. No one else is allowed to. It's in the Constitution.
The misdiagnosed bullshit where nobody is even fucking... There's so many secrets.
Thank you for giving us at least a quarter of each of them.
Go to treatment. What are you talking about? There's nothing I'm saying that has anything to do with going to treatment. God help, please.
Okay, God says go to treatment. You don't have to be in active addiction to go to treatment, to pursue the wellness of your mental health, your personhood, your brain, your mental wellness, your physical wellness. It's like a car, right? Like it's got an engine, it's got like the reservoir where the wiper fluid goes. It's got that stick that you gotta dip in and pretend you know what you're looking at when you pull it out and wipe it with a cloth. You know, like it all has to work together. It's got a horn, which is what I assume these TikTok lives are.
One day for the world just to understand. Yeah, you are one of a kind. No one knows, only you. I just said earlier there's millions of people like me.
Actually, what you said was only, what was it, 23% of people are like you? But also, I think that comment was supposed to be sincere. I don't think it was supposed to be sarcasm. So.
Not even like 10 minutes ago. I
this shit. This, like, girl, why don't you sit down and make a long form video about the things that are incorrect about you, that you want other people to believe are incorrect about you, in a coherent fashion with complete sentences and, you know, less corgis and shit. Oh my god, it was so aggressive.
Yes, 23% people have all of the things that I have. I have four out of the top 5 worst mental illnesses diagnosed by 4 different psychiatrists.
And instead of being on TikTok Live all day, you should be, I don't know, maybe some talk therapy? Maybe getting off of your beloved couch? I'm not saying these things fix mental illnesses. I'm just saying, like, similarly to what I've said about Janelle in the rewatches, is like, you have to be willing to help yourself a little bit. You have to be willing to try. You know, even small steps are big steps when you're in the throes of things like depression and anxiety. And it's hard to do. I'm not saying that it's easy.
Have you tried going on a walk? Have you tried not feeling sad? Have you tried not worrying about shit?
Obviously, those are very minimizing things. Those are very, very, what do you call that?
They come find me. I'm doing this for a reason because it needs to be known.
But what needs to be known? That you have mental illnesses? That you don't like working for Teen Mom? That you're unwilling to get a job? That you're getting married to your couch? Like, could you give us a clue? Speak in specific terms, maybe? A little bit more specific? Just like a clue of, like, the subject? Please?
I love to come to Washington State. Because I've spent half my life just trying to help people.
Girl, shut the fuck. You know, again, you can help people in other ways. Like, if you feel like your life has been taken from you in certain ways because of being on reality television, you could have just not renewed those contracts, you know what I mean? But the money is good and the work effort is low. So, I mean, I could see where it's a, you know, it's an enviable position to be in when you're an established, I believe they would call it talent, but I don't think that's the most astute thing. When you're established talent on a reality TV show, it's very easy to just rake in the paychecks and let them film your life, you know? I also don't know who any of this is helping because, quite frankly, it would be helpful to see you overcome doing shit like this. Going on live in the middle of the afternoon and crying to a bunch of strangers about how your 16-year-old daughter's so mean to you. You know, it would be nice to see you overcome that and actually do the work, the real work, put in the real work to repair your relationship with your daughter. I think that would be something that would help people. Seeing if that is possible for you, then it's possible for them. But seeing you cave into a victim mentality, which whether or not you want to admit it, Amber, you are, to continually sit here on live and cry about being the victim. You are the victim of MTV, you are the victim of Gary, you are the victim of Christina, you are the victim of Leah, you're now the victim of Macy and Caitlyn. You're the victim of everybody. Her incessant need to be the victim and then pretend like she isn't trying to be the victim. Wild. Wild.
Because of the pain that I went through and I was going through. But it's time for it to stop. TV is 11 straight. I don't know what they're thinking or what they're doing.
Maybe they'd be more inclined to tell you if you weren't on live, acting a fool every day.
Oh, honey, I actually have, you know, this is something that's known to a lot of people, but it's more so a secret. I have many of the biggest corporations in the world for mental health and addiction. Sorry, darling. I'll talk to you soon. That are that work with me.
What? First of all, it's widely known, but also a secret. Okay, that you have mental health corporations working with you. What? Are you holding up big mental illness? Big mental illness is winning, and this is how.
And I'm very proud of that.
Well, that's one for you, I guess.
I'm rapid cycling bipolar. Less than 10% have that. My parents were addicted. And you know what I love? I love when beautiful people like you come on here and actually tell the truth.
So, this was about Leah. It was about Gary being abusive. It was about teen mom taking away big parts of her life. Then it was about MTV trying to push Leah to the forefront of a spin-off. And now it's people who are sharing their mental health experiences. They're in here telling the truth. Okay. No one's denying that mental illnesses exist. No one's denying that you have multiple... I'm not even denying your diagnosis. I'm not denying the fact that it's probably hard having that diagnosis. What I'm saying is that millions of people have mental illnesses of varying degrees. The issue is not that the people, or yourself, Amber, the issue is not the mental illnesses. The issue is not that people have mental illnesses. Personally, if it were me, I would be working with a therapist to help me understand if I had difficulty, if my mental illness made it difficult for me to understand what my daughter was asking for and how to help her and me reunite in a way that was emotionally and mentally healthy and stable for both of us. That's what I'd be working on in therapy. 5 days a week. She's got the fucking time. And the money. But instead, Amber Portwood is sitting on her couch crying to other people for sympathy because her daughter's hurt and has the wherewithal to say so. That's all.
People think what I have is like everybody else. There's a lot of people that have the same things as me, but not everybody, guys. They found a fucking... They had me on a silver platter. And they're still not stopping.
Who the fuck is they? MTV? Could you be more specific? Sorry, I didn't mean to yell. But like, for real, MTV? And so now MTV is exploiting you and your mental illness. Girl, there are people with debilitating mental illnesses. There are people who have physical disabilities. There are people who fight their demons day in and day out and still show up for their kids. Period. If you have kids, show up for them. It's really, I'm not saying it's a simple task all the time. I'm not trying to downplay how difficult mental illnesses can make your life. Being there for your kid, being there for your child, showing up when it's important, treating her with kindness, those are not hard fucking things. And MTV has nothing to do with that.
I don't want my daughter to do this anymore.
Well, you know what? You don't have a whole lot of say in that. Feigning some sort of panic about Leah being on TV when you've had her on TV for, oh, I don't know, her entire life from the literal moment she was born.
Whatever comes, comes. But I will make sure. I have to think about it, guys. that it's not what they are trying to do. And she's going through the same. No, guys, they turned their backs on me for money.
Okay, first of all, Leah's not doing the same thing. Again, Leah's in a very stable, loving, healthy environment. If Amber couldn't see that MTV was going to try to, like, test out a new show for their kids when they turned 16, if they couldn't see that coming, where's your common sense?
You know, I enjoyed every moment of helping through showing my ignorance as I was growing up, because this is how I met you beautiful people.
Okay, first of all, I hate when people use words that they don't know what they mean. You weren't ignorant. You were an idiot. Addiction can find anybody, but you were violent for a prolonged period of time. That isn't ignorance. Right. And so these are like kind of out of sequence, but this last little segment, we're just gonna...
So you think that it's okay for a young daughter...
I'm sorry, I'm from Chicago, and I can hear that. And for a young daughter, the bears.
I didn't talk to her for 5 months because I was blocked. How many times do I have to say that to you?
Like 30 to 40 more. Because if you were blocked, there's a reason. And that reason ain't Gary and Christine.
Oh my God. You guys, do you not understand like anything at all in life? I was blocked. I was told. I didn't get blocked for any other reason. I didn't do anything.
Right, because kids generally block their parents for not doing anything. You've never done anything. There's nothing to take accountability for because you've never done anything. We get it. You're the victim. Always.
I was just trying to be in her life, and her father and stepmother did not want me in her life.
Maybe because you spent many years being a toxic piece of shit. At some point, they have to protect the child in the situation. Also, we've only ever heard Gary encourage Leah to have a relationship with her mom. Also, Leah herself has said it was her choice.
What the fuck don't you guys understand who are talking shit right now?
Well, a lot of things, because you're pretty, I don't want to say incoherent, but like you don't finish a whole lot of sentences and you leave out a whole lot of details. And I don't mean like secrets and things that you can't say legally. I mean like proper nouns and things like that, so we know which direction this conversation is going in. I also can't understand not taking accountability for yourself when it comes to your children. You know? It's okay to be wrong. It's okay to be wrong sometimes. No one has ever not done something that they need to take accountability for. It's part of life, you know?
What do you... Go to court for what? She's 16! This just happened. Oh, you're the victim. We know it. Isn't that a fucking victim?
No.
I mean, are you serious? Isn't that a victim when your daughter says she wants to live with you at 7 and then she goes on a Disney trip and all of a sudden she doesn't want to live with you, and then she's manipulated her whole entire life about how horrible of a person I am, even though I showed up for months and months and months.
Whoa! I didn't know you showed up for months and months and months. You're right. Leah's the problem. Gary and Christina are the problem. It's not you. There definitely wasn't a time where Gary and Christina literally offered to, you know, put a small house on their property so that you could live closer to Leah. and you said no. There were definitely times when y'all were supposed to do something together and then you bailed. Personally, I wouldn't have wanted to live with you either.
With my son, spending time with her, what the hell? And then all of a sudden, because I didn't want to go to dinner with Gary, it wasn't allowed anymore.
Yeah, I bet that was the catalyst for all of this. Dinner rejection. Anyway, if you think that anything I've said today was in any way out of character, no, it wasn't. If you think that anything I've said today was mean or hateful considering the situation, no, it wasn't. See, that's how it works when you decide that you're right and everyone else is wrong. I'm speaking about Amber specifically because there are a lot of mental illnesses that do a lot of different things. And I am not a doctor. I don't know if you know that, but I'm not a doctor. But this woman is capable enough to sit on her couch and do a TikTok live every fucking day. She puts more effort into sitting on her couch and yelling at a screen and the strangers behind it than she does making meaningful change for her daughter. And that's a fact. I mean, that's happened time and time and time again. Let me know your thoughts below. Let me know what you think. Let me know what you feel. Let's hash it out down below. Make sure you subscribe to the channel if you want to. Make sure you like the video. Make sure. I don't care. Get the hell out of here. Okay, bye.
The number you have dialed has been changed. The new number is... Please note, the new number is...
But I was just on TV. It was just a happenstance that it just... I don't even know how it happened. You're in my space.com/Tom.
Watching my 75-inch TV right now. I paid for it in cash, by the way. And my $600 and some odd $1,000 home, 3,200 square feet. I'm rent free. I bought it with cash too. Oop, ego. Oh God, should I have said that? Oh my God. Oh my God. Because I saved up my money for 4 years. Can you save up your money for 4 years?
Nah, bitch, I have kids.